Hi everyone, I am Danica C. Guarda, taking of Bachelor of Secondary Education, major in Mathematics. I am the discussant for today and my topic is all about the emergency safety measurements. So first, I will tackle to you the definition of what is emergency safety measurements. Emergency safety measurements is the term refers to the steps you take to make sure you are safe before, during, and after an emergency or natural disaster. These plans are important for your safety in both natural disasters and man-made disasters. Let me ask you something. What should you do in an emergency situation? How can you be prepared for an emergency? Emergency can occur in any location, from severe weather storms and natural disasters to chemical spills, explosions, and workplace violence. It is important to know what to do in case you experience such an emergency. Do you know what to do to stay safe in a natural or other disaster? In the event of an emergency, natural or otherwise, it is important to make sure you are aware of your company's evacuation plan. It is very easy to panic during an emergency. Being mentally and physically prepared may help to minimize that feeling of panic and enable you to keep cool, calm, collected, and most importantly, safe. There are many different types of emergency in the workplace or at home. It's important to know how to react to each individual situation such as severe weather, fire, and earthquake. And the next slide, it shows the before, the during, and after typhoon. But first, let me tackle what is typhoon. Typhoon is a giant, rotating storm that brings wind, rain, and destruction. What to do before a typhoon? I have here 7 ways. The first one is listen to weather updates and advisories. Second, keep watch for warnings and plans regarding evacuation in your community. Third, check your house condition and make necessary repairs. Fourth, prepare a survival kit or emergency items such as canned goods, biscuits, water, and first aid kits. Fifth, keep your survival kit in an area where you can easily get in case of emergency. 6. Bring your pets and livestock in the designated evacuation area for animals. If not, keep them in safe place. The last one is evacuate immediately once asked by the authorities to do so. How about during typhoon? I have here 5 ways. The first one is if no advice to evacuate was announced, then better stay inside your house. Keep yourself calm and postpone any scheduled travels. The second one is keep on monitoring the typhoon's movement through your television, radio, or the internet. The third one is if you see signs of water rising, better turn off the main sources of electricity. Do keep your electric-powered items stored in higher areas and refrain from using them during flood. The fourth one, do not wade along flooded areas to keep yourself from contacting waterborne diseases. If it is inevitable, wear protective gear such as raincoats and boots to protect yourself. The last one, if you are told to evacuate, calmly comply. How about in after a typhoon? Do you know what to do? I have here 6 ways. The first one is to monitor and update yourself with the progress of the typhoon through radio, television, or the internet, should this be accessible. The second one, if your house was one of the heavily damaged, make sure that you heed to the advice of the authorities regarding its safety and stability. If they are uncertain of your house's condition, do not go yet. If the house didn't have that much damage, have your house inspected and do the needed repairs immediately. Just be safe in inspecting your house and avoid scattered debris. The third one is watch out for live wires or any electrical outlet that may be submerged in water. If you don't have the sufficient knowledge on electric wirings, have a knowledgeable person inspect these wires as well as your appliance before you actually use them again. The fourth one, wear protective gear such as boots. Waterborne diseases such as leptospirosis do not only spread out during typhoon but also after the typhoon. The bacteria that cause this disease may still be present in moist soils or scattered debris, and if this contacts with your open wound, the chances of developing such disease is very much likely. The fifth one is to boil water before drinking as they may be contaminated. The last one is to clean up. Dispose things that may be a ground for mosquitoes to breed. Such stuffs may include tires, cans, or pots. The next slide shows the before, during, and after earthquake. But first, let me tackle what is earthquake. An earthquake is a sudden and violent shaking of the ground, sometimes causing great destruction as a result of movements within the Earth's crust or volcanic action. Do you know what to do before an earthquake? I have here 7 ways. The first one is to make sure you have a fire extinguisher, first aid kit, a battery-powered radio, a flashlight, and extra batteries at home. The second is to learn first aid. The third one is to learn how to turn off the gas, water, and electricity. The fourth one is to make up a plan of where to meet your family after an earthquake. The fifth one is don't leave heavy objects on shelves. They will fall during a quake. The sixth one is anchor heavy furniture, cupboards, and appliances to the walls or floor. The last one is to learn the earthquake plan at your school or workplace. What about during an earthquake? Do you know what to do? I have here 6 ways. The first one is to stay calm. If you're indoors, stay inside. If you're outside, stay outside. The second one, if you're indoors, stand against a wall near the center of the building, stand in a doorway, or crawl under heavy furniture, a desk or table. Stay away from windows and outside doors. The third one is if you are outdoors, stay in the open away from power lines or anything that might fall. Stay away from buildings. The fourth one is don't use matches, candles, or any flame. Broken gas lines and fire don't mix. The fifth one, if you are in a car, stop the car and stay inside the car until the earthquake stops. The last one is don't use elevators. They may shut down. How about after an earthquake? Do you know what to do? I have here 10 ways. The first one is to check yourself and others for injuries. Provide first aid for anyone who needs it. The second one, check water, gas, and electric lines for damage. If any are damaged, shut off the valves. Check for the smell of gas. If you smell it, open all the windows and doors. Leave immediately and report it to the authorities. The third one is turn on the radio. Don't use the phone unless it's an emergency. The fourth one, stay out of damaged buildings. Fifth, be careful around broken glass and debris. Wear boots or sturdy shoes to keep from cutting your feet. The sixth one, be careful of chimneys. They may fall on you. The seventh one, stay away from beaches. Tsunamis and cyclones sometimes hit after the ground has stopped shaking. 8. Stay away from the damaged areas. 9. If you're at school or work, Follow the emergency plan or the instructions of the person in charge. Last one, expect aftershocks. The next slide shows before, during, and after fire. But let me tackle first what is fire. A fire is a combustion or burning in which substances combine chemically with oxygen from the air and typically give out bright light, heat, and smoke. What to do before a fire? The following are things you can do to protect yourself, your family, and your property in the event of a fire. First, install smoke alarms on every level of your residence and do proper maintenance. Second, review escape routes with your family. Practice escaping from each room. Third, consider escape ladders if your residence has more than one level. Fourth, never use flammable liquids indoors. Fifth, never smoke near flammable liquids. Sixth, be careful when using heating sources and cooking burners. 7. Keep matches and lighters up high, away from children, and if possible, in a locked cabinet. 8. Never smoke in bed or when drowsy or medicated. Provide a smoker with deep, sturdy ashtrays. Douse cigarette and cigar butts with water before disposal. 9. Have the electrical wiring in your residence checked by an electrician. 10. Sleep with your door closed. 11. Install fire extinguishers in your residence and teach family members how to use them. 12. Consider installing an automatic fire sprinkler system in your residence. The last one, ask your local fire department to inspect your residence for fire safety and prevention. What to do during a fire? I have here 5 ways. The first one is if your clothes catch on fire, you should stop, drop, and roll until the fire is extinguished. Running only makes the fire burn faster. Second, to escape a fire, you should check closed doors for heat before you open them. If the door is hot, do not open. Try to escape through other door or window. Third, if the door is cool, open slowly and ensure fire and smoke is not blocking your escape route. Fourth, crawl low under any smoke to your exit. Heavy smoke and poisonous gases collect first along the ceiling. The last one, close doors behind you as you escape to delay the spread of the fire. How about in after a fire? Do you know what to do? I have here 5 ways. The first one is to check with your family. If you weren't alone when the fire happened, check in and make sure everyone is okay. Depending on the size of the fire and the age of those involved, it can be very traumatic. Then take a moment and contact any family members that may not have been with you. Let them know what happened and the status of any other friends and family that are with you. If none of your family members are local, call a close friend. You will want to have some support as you begin the fire restoration process. The second one is to figure out if your home is salvageable. The third one is to determining if your home is safe. Do not enter a house or other building that has been damaged by a fire until the fire department has made sure that it's safe to enter your home. Do not try to clean any of smoke or soot damage yourself. Leave that to the professionals who have the proper safety equipment and experience. Do not turn on the gas, water, or electric utilities until a professional has deemed them safe. Fourth one, fires can start again even if they appear to be out and there is almost always hidden damage. Roofs and floors may be damaged and could fall down when you're inside. The last one, is to start the process of replacing important documents lost in the fire, such as licenses, passports, birth certificates, and etc. The last topic that I will discuss to you today is the steps of emergency management. I have here 5 steps of emergency management. We have prevention, mitigation, preparedness, response, and recovery. Prevention. Actions taken to avoid an incident, stopping an incident from occurring, deterrence operations and surveillance. Next, mitigation refers to measures that prevent an emergency, reduce the chance of an emergency happening, or reduce the damaging effects of unavoidable emergencies. Typically, mitigation measures include establishing building codes and zoning requirements, installing shutters, and constructing barriers such as leaves. Next, preparedness. Activities increase a community's ability to respond when a disaster occurs. Typically, preparedness measures include developing mutual aid agreements and memorandums of understanding, training for both response personnel and concerned citizens, conducting disaster exercises to reinforce training and test capabilities, and presenting all hazards education campaigns. The next one is response. Action carried out immediately before, during, and immediately after a hazard impact, which are aimed at saving lives, reducing economic losses, and alleviating suffering. Response actions may include activating the Emergency Operations Center, evacuating threatened populations, opening shelters and providing mass care, emergency rescue and medical care, firefighting, and urban search and rescue. The last one is recovery. Actions taken to return a community to normal or near normal conditions, including the restoration of basic services and the repair of physical, social, and economic damages. Typically, recovery actions include debris cleanup, financial assistance to individuals and governments, rebuilding of roads and bridges and key facilities, and sustain mass care for displaced human and animal populations.